The reason for this media briefing is to address some of the concerns that have been expressed about particularly the environmental aspects of our multi-use recreation facility project.
How many chemicals have been discovered on the site that pose a threat to human health?
We found a number of heavy metals, lead, chromium, zinc. We found a number of chemicals that are, I guess we'd call them coal tar derived, benzoate-pyrene, anthracene, phenanthrene. We found some semi-volatile organic compounds, one of them being bis-2-ethylhexylphthalate. We found some chlorinated organic compounds, trichloroethylene, vinyl chloride, cis-1,2-dichloroethylene. We have found PCBs at low concentrations. I think that's about it.
You're aware that there were 45-gallon drums of trichloroethylene that were buried and are buried, and also that there are barrels of cyanide that have been buried. I've been told firsthand that, that from people who actually disposed of this trichloroethylene at the back of the site.
In all studies of this type, things that are between the boreholes are unknown. That's a fact of life. But we've covered virtually all of the site with a borehole or a test pit. We've studied soil and groundwater. We believe we have enough information now to proceed with the risk assessment and the risk management measures that are needed.
Ms. Robbins herself said, is there stuff between the test holes? Well, of course, but that's part of life. No, I say that's part of death. Because if we don't know what's there, and you're going to send little children, I get emotional with that. How can you do it? Test, it's a hole. How much does it cost?
You can't find everything every time because these things, a borehole is only about this big. So what we're proposing as the soil is being excavated is provision for if we find something unusual or something that doesn't look like the material that we've tested to go to the landfill, that we do segregate it and test it.
Have you found any indication of asbestos in any of your samples?
Asbestos is a designated substance under the Occupational Health and Safety Act, and before you demolish a building, you have to do a designated substance survey. Well, there are no buildings on site. So as such, there are no asbestos-containing materials that we have to test for. That said, we have put measures in place to prevent particulates from becoming airborne. I don't think we would be testing for asbestos. There's no reason to.
2,500 pounds of this material was used on each furnace every 30 to 45 days over a 15-year period. As it wore down, they sent a man inside and he would chip it away with a chisel and a hammer. Most of the time it broke off back into powder again, and then it was disposed at the back of the site. There's over 600,000 pounds of this stuff that has been dumped there.
If there is that material that has been deposited out there, we have put in place health and safety plans to prevent soil particles from becoming airborne.
They want to send children there. Can't do it. No way.
Why did we not interview residents of the city of Orillia? This question only recently came up, and the people who are asking it, they weren't very friendly. And I was a little bit afraid of some of the outbursts.
The consultants for the city haven't done, they admit, a historical study on just what was done there. So they don't know, and we don't know, all that's there, and yet they're proceeding. The city wants to cut down everything, fill in the swamp, and it makes no sense.